Right, welcome to another review. Oh, that rhymes. Okay, now, this month I'm looking at Magic of the Ordinary by Gershon Winkler, and this is probably going to be the most difficult book I am ever going to try and review. Mostly because I just want to read the whole thing to you. Every single word in this book is valuable. Um, so I kind of, you can see I picked some bits out that I kind of want to focus on, but really, the whole book's just brilliant. Now, I'd actually like to start this by asking the question, when you think of Jewish mysticism or Kabbalah, what do you think of? So kind of like get that image in mind. If it's anything kind of rigid, kind of almost, I suppose, dogmatic. But if we like look at the tree of life as this rigid system that is kind of just focused on some kind of monotheism. A lot of people believe that the Kabbalah is monotheistic. This is going to blow your mind, basically, if that's right, the view you have, because this is about recovering the shamanic in Judaism. So this is Jewish shamanism. All right, so anyway, let's get started with this. This is by... God, I can't even read that. Hang on, let me go look in the inside maybe. Oh, wait, it's on the back. Can I actually look at the back? North Atlantic Books is the publisher. And, from sorcery to animal totems, buzzard feathers to hawk spirits, sacred circles to healing rituals, this book offers us a rare and generous encounter with a rich body of wisdom that has been long neglected and even longer misunderstood. So I think that gives you kind of an idea of what you're getting yourself into with this book. It's just, this is probably one of the best books I've ever read. So now that we've had a look at the outside, let's have a look at the inside. Just give you some background. Published, copyright 2003. I think that was the first edition. So Gershon Winkler is a rabbi, and he functioned as a rabbi for a long time, and then he decided, just kind of the basic idea of what's going on here. Then he decided that he wanted to go into the wild, basically, and connect with his ancestral roots. And he does live in America, and a lot of this, you'll find a lot of this, I mean, if you actually go to, a lot of this is connected with Native American traditions. The foreword itself is by David Carson, who is a Choctaw pipe carrier. And there's a lot of overlap. You'll find a lot of overlap between the Native American medicine man and this form of shamanism. That's diplomatic. Oh yeah, Veda. Yeah, so the intro, I wanted to read the whole intro to you, but I've got so many things here that I want to actually get to that I'm not going to have time to do any of this. David Carson Choctaw, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, I do apologize. Pipe carrier, Pawnee descent. Okay, anyway. So he went off into the wild and kind of just lived his many years like that, and really connected with the roots of his ancestors, and connected to what Jewish mysticism was really about, and that is shamanism. And you'll find that, as I say, if you believe that Kabbalah or Jewish mysticism is based in monotheism, you're going to get a surprise. It's pantheistic and also animistic, especially animistic, you'll find with this. So anyway, let me go through some of these tabs that I have. Wait, I've got two here. Oh, one's on one side, one's on the other side, I think. There we go. Let's see, at the same time, I also became aware of the fact that many of my own people were flocking to shamans of other traditions in a trans-denominational quest for personal empowerment and enrichment. and for the express purpose of fine-tuning their relationship with the earth and her beings. As a rabbi, a spiritual teacher in Judaic spirit path, it pained me to watch Jewish people flock to these well springs, not knowing that their own tradition too is replete with this quality of wisdom. And that, I think that's very important, not just for Jewish mysticism, but for any tradition, really. You know, you find a lot of people can actually go to their own roots and find a lot of mysticism and shamanic aspects within their history and their ancestral roots, but they tend to go a bit, you know, outside those boundaries. I'm guilty of that myself, so I can't really, you know, fault anybody for it. This is really about the book itself and why he called it. I call this work Magic of the Ordinary because this is the essence, the crux of the Jewish shamanic tradition, to experience the so-called ordinary, mundane, material existence in the carrier of the very mystery we expend so much of our life quest seeking in other more transcendent realms. Yeah, I do have a lot of bookmarks here, so I'm going to just go through all the bookmarks, and you can. This isn't really a review at the end of the day. Somebody actually told me not too long back that the way I do these reviews is not reviewing a book. This is the way I do it. If you don't like it, sorry. The physical universe is not secondary to the spiritual, is not dispensable to our soul journey. It is essential. It is a requisite. It is the mean by which we germinate. It is the rich soil in which the seed that we are can sprout to its fullest realization. Don't take this realm of matter lightly. And this is very important also. A lot of people will consider these types of traditions to reject the physical, reject the material and the mundane in order to reach the spiritual and reach to divinity, trying to remove ourselves from the physical. This goes into the importance of immersing yourself in the material as well as the divine, bringing everything together, which is very much my understanding of things. All right, let's go to. I think this was a bookmark for me actually. What is interesting is you may have been through ceremonial magic, Western mystery tradition, Hermetic or teachings, Order of the Golden Dawn teachings and things like that, and you may have come across the idea that when it comes to the elements, the archangels within various rituals, within ceremonial magic, that they are fixed in place with the cardinal points, and you cannot move them around. That is false. And there's a lot of discussion in this book about that, and there's a lot of reference to older texts as well. But what we find, for instance, if I've got the right place, I'm thinking of here, the four worlds of existence. Oh no, this is about the four worlds are simultaneous. In other words, the Creator did not say, "Let there be" 6,000 years ago or 15 billion years ago, but is rather saying it right now. Every moment we are being emanated, willed into existence across the simultaneous stages of unfolding, known as the four worlds. This again comes back to the idea that we construct linear time, whereas time is really lateral. I'm sure I'll get to it just now. Where here we go. Yeah. So what we find here, what he does here, is actually take the four directions and the archangels, depending on the situation you're actually in, moving the archangels into different positions, into different directions, different cardinal points, in order to work for them to help with that particular thing. In this situation, for instance, you start with Michael is on your right, so you walk to the right, and then on your left walks Javriel, your sense of balance, now in the north. So this is moving Javriel, which Golden Dawn specifically in things like the LBRP. When you get to the hexagram rituals, things do change. But it gives you they kind of gives you this impression that you're not supposed to actually move these elements around at all. And he's suggesting, yes, you do, you can. And when we get into the older texts, it's not fixed. It's completely different. I think I did mark something that anybody who is involved in Golden Dawn material will actually recognize. It's just going through, what did I do here? The four winds are interconnected by their earthly attributes: breath, water, fire, and earth. Breath is in the east, fire is in the south, water is in the north, and earth is in the west. Fire of south and water of north are joined by the attributes of east and west. So again, coming back to the idea that these systems are mutable, they can be changed. Where is the next one? Try and figure this out. No, there's the next one. When spirits are invoked during the Jewish practice of sorcery, they do not always involve angelic forces, but also, this might be interesting for everybody, but also mysterious beings known as Shadim. Described as half human, half angel, these beings linger in the shadows between the material and the spiritual, capable therefore not only of accessing the energies of either, but also of manifesting themselves in the realm of both. In the English vernacular, they have most often been described as demons, who in turn have been blanketly blacklisted by both Christian and Islam in the course of their usual and blatant misinterpretation of the older Jewish ideology, whom both claim as their mother. What Shadim really are remains precisely the mystery that constitutes the very core of both their essence and their genesis. He goes on to explain more about the Shadim, but also equates them with Fae, and therefore we can probably equate them with Jinn. So this is probably going to be a very interesting section for a lot of people who follow my channel. Then a bit more about Shadim. One of the ancient Kabbalistic works on Shadim is Sifra Dashmadai, or the Book of Ashmadai. Ashmadai is the chief of the Shadim and is described not only as learned in the Hebraic tradition, but also as a mastery of sorcery. You'll probably recognize that, Ashmadai, Asmodeus, who is said to be the king of the Jinn. It's highly probable the ancients dubbed their experiences of these as spirits, but it is equally as likely that what they deemed as spirits and what we today image as spirits are very different phenomena. It goes into the Ruach Ra'ah, which is considered to be the evil spirits, but the Ruach Ra'ah are things that we experience in life, which, pathogens, for instance, not particularly spirits, as in the Shadim and things like that. So, again, exposing misrepresentations and misinterpretations. Sorry, I am kind of jumping a bit, sort of. I can't specifically remember what these bookmarks were for. Hang on, have I got this on the right page? Yes. The practice of sorcery in the Jewish or any other spirit path is not to be taken lightly or to be toyed with. It is a serious, often dangerous pursuit which should be entertained only by persons whose down-home everyday life is in balance. In other words, if you are a man living with a woman and you neglect to leave the toilet seat down after you've urinated, don't bother trying to master sorcery. If you are having trouble working out a conflict with your partner, or don't have time for your nagging kids, don't draw any sacred circles. First take care of your homework, then go out for pizza. Very important message. So it goes into sorcery itself, creating the sacred circle. I actually took a lot of this into my book, The Black Crow, when I was discussing Kabbalistic sacred space creation. Anyway, so that's all about sorcery. And then we go into the soul knows shamanic healing, and this is specifically about healing, which is very interesting for anybody who is a healer. But I'm not going to focus on that. I do think I did have something which was specific. Oh, I love these little things. He's included some of the old traditional folk healing methods, and I love these. I absolutely love them from any tradition. So I just wanted to read this. For a persistent fever, sit on the earth at a crossroads and wait for a large ant to pass by carrying a pebble or a piece of foliage. Take the item from the ant and place it inside a brass container. Shut the container up with lead and seal it with 60 seals. Then shake it, place it on your back and say, "Your burden be on me and my burden be on you." Another remedy is to take a small fresh jar to a river and say to the river, "River, O river, please loan me a jar full of water for a guest who is visiting me." Fill the jar with water from the river. Then spin the jar 7 times around your head and pour the water over your back while saying, "River, O river, please take back the water you gave to me, for the guest who visited me came and left on the same day." Love these little anecdotes, these little folk remedies and stuff. It's full of them here, and it also discusses how healing is done. What's actually interesting with this particular chapter, if you are interested in things like gematria, what he does, and I found this quite fascinating actually, he takes the word illness in Jewish. The word for illness in ancient Hebrew is machla, and one who is ill is called chole, root words which juxtaposed translate as. And then he comes up with a whole list of words which relate geometrically, whatever the word is, to illness. And it's dream, battle, bread, dance, compassion, forgiveness, beginning, dough offering, apply, weak, sweeten, moist, connect, and warrior. I mean, some of these things like bread, dough offering, you wouldn't think would be related at all to how to counter illness. But then he goes through them specifically and discusses exactly how they apply to overcoming illness. Even dough offering, which is a particular Jewish tradition that you go through. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating stuff. Then, let's see what I had next. Oh, that was that. Okay. I'm sure I had the, I'll find it just now if I didn't mark it. This section will be interesting for a lot of people that follow my channel. If you keep asking, people who ask questions about the clip-off. The clip-off is related to people are calling it the tree of death, or the clipothic tree. But it's the Sitra Achra, which is the other side. And this particular chapter goes into that whole thing of discussing the Sitra Achra in comparison to the Olam, and how they are both required, necessary, needed in order to balance out our cosmos. But I think what you'll find in here from an actual scholar is a lot different to what you may have thought. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I did want to read this opening paragraph here because you can meditate just on this paragraph alone for probably a lifetime and unlock tons and tons of mysteries. The mystery that holds everything together, that makes possible coalescence, is the primeval tension between the omnipresent light and the constricted light, the omnipresence of Creator and the subtlety of Creator. Were Creator to fill the universe, nothing could exist. Were Creator to not fill the universe, nothing could exist. Existence, then, happens only by the dynamics of the tension of Creator's hiddenness and revealedness. As the book of the Zohar puts it, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I don't read Hebrew itself. Literally, the sacred wellspring is at the same time hidden and revealed. And then it goes into the omnipresent light and the constricted light, and discussing that in terms of Sitra Achra and Olam, and also their particular aspects of what was it? I've forgotten the terms now. Anyway. Choshech, which is constricted light. And what was the other one? Choshek and Choshek is also known as Olam, which is translated as world. Anyway, I'm not going to go. There's supposed to be a review, so if you want to find out more, buy the book. And then what was this bit here? Moses, one of the greatest Jewish sorcerers, does not get initiated because he is looking for power, yearning for transcendence, eager to master the elements. He gets initiated because he pays attention to the sheep he is herding. The power of the supernal is not to be discovered in mystery schools. It is rather to be discovered in the ordinary, in the everyday flow of everything and everyone. Divine mystery is imprinted in all creation, and all creation therefore carries more wisdom and power than is to be found in books, even as the one you are now reading. Mastery of the mystery requires that we pay attention, that we marvel, that we recover our sense of wonder, so much of which has been supplanted by a technocratic consciousness and mindset. See why I wanted to read the whole book. Also, having a look at the very last bit here, again coming back to the placement of the archangels together with the elements. This again shifts and changes, and Michael is the element of water spirit, not fire. Javriel is the element of fire spirit, not water. Uriel is the element of the air spirit, not earth. Raphael is of the element of the earth spirit, not air. And that particular passage comes from, get to the last chapter, 16th century Rabbi Ishayahu Horowitz in Sefer, etc. It's a long title. So I mean, this is 16th century stuff, and I thought I'd marked it actually. You probably will recognize this particular passage as being part of the LBRP. Hang on, was it here? No, it's not here. That was the healing part. I might just pause the video and cut this bit out until I find it. Oh yeah, here it is. So at the end of the LBRP, before me, Raphael, most people watching this from the Northern Hemisphere, so before me, Raphael, to my right, Michael, behind me, Javriel, to my left, Uriel, above me, or about me shines a pentagram, above me shines a six-rayed star, etc., or, however it goes. This, let me just check if this has actually got a particular date to it. 7, this is the Wheel of the Four Winds. Wheel of the Four Winds, what did I say? 7. Traditional prayer book, incantation recited before bedtime, based on Midrash. Okay, it doesn't give me an actual year, but it is from a traditional prayer book, so could be old, I don't know, can't really say that for certain now. But this, in the name of Infinite One, power of the God Wrestler, at my right is Michael, at my left is Javriel, at my front of me is Uriel, and behind me is Raphael, and above my head is the feminine presence of the power. So, it sounds familiar, if you ask me. So, I think that's probably where that originated from, and got shifted and changed slightly. There was also mention in here of, in Star Trek, when Spock I forget the guy's name, the actor's name now. I've forgotten his name. But you know, the greeting of live long and prosper. This is actually a traditional Jewish blessing, this actual hand position. And I actually read a long time ago that the actor, the Jewish actor who acted as Mr. Spock, he actually brought a lot of Jewish mysticism that he remembered from his childhood into the character of Spock. So that was quite interesting, but it's mentioned in here somewhere. I can't remember right now. And okay, so yeah, there we go. Let me just go back to the chapter because I want to emphasize. So Jewish shamanism discusses that mystery of the void, discusses particular mysteries. This is about the four directions, the four winds, the four rivers, the four archangels, etc., the elements. This goes into sorcery itself. The soul knows is the healing, the sanctity of darkness and dangers. That's about the Sutra Achra versus the Olam. And then we have animal powers and attributes. I didn't actually mark anything in this particular chapter, but this is why I wanted to come back to it. This is this kind of emphasizes the animistic aspects of Jewish mysticism and the importance of animal rights. And such things, and it's not, they don't just talk about the animal spirits, but also it goes into the plant spirits and the stone spirits. There's considered to be a spirit in everything. Every blade of grass has a spirit. So this Jewish mysticism is extremely animistic, and I think a lot of people in our Western society have kind of missed that. And don't realize. And then this is just a closing chapter explaining the actual sacred walk through life and things, and through the mysteries and things like that. This, as I said, this is has always been one of my favorite books. When I first was introduced to and taught practical Kabbalah, this was recommended to me, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. I probably sold the book at some stage. I have been through some tough times in life, so kind of needed money every now and again. But I bought it again recently because I thought I saw it. It hasn't been available in South Africa for so long, and then I saw it by chance on our local online bookstore. So I'll have to get that again, and I understand more now. Which is a really good thing about reading books that you loved years ago and then coming back to them once you've got more knowledge and stuff. You'd kind of understand more of what's being said and what was written. And I just love this book, one of my favorites. So I definitely recommend this book. I think you can tell. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching this, and as always there will be a link to this book on Amazon. If you do go and buy the paperback, I do appreciate it. I get a small commission from the sale. And that's it. Right, thanks for watching. Cheers everyone.